So we're in a different place, a different energy today around Mount Shasta, but it's kind of the other side of the mountain where people don't usually go to. Oh, so you can see it here. So the
Beautiful.
mountain over there, it's kind of in
Hmm.
clouds, and this is, there's a town called Mount Shasta, and usually everybody goes to that side, and that's kind of where the touristy part is, which is a very nice part in its own right. Um, But this part, it's just as close to the mountain. It's just on the other side of it, and it has a little bit of a funny name. It's actually called Weed, like Weed, and
Ah,
that
yeah.
and that's
That used to
just
be
yeah.
a surname, I think.
Oh yeah, that's how it.
Yeah, it was
I was always curious how it got that name. Um, but yeah, but that's the name. This is actually it's a really nice side. It's a lot sunnier.
mm,
There's a lot less rain. Um, it's significantly warmer. And then also, it's kind of like this high desert, um, area. So there's these desert shrubs. Vegetation kind
beautiful.
of
Mm.
changes all the time, but it's sort of it's just a very different feel
Where is
Beautiful.
this
to it.
place?
This is Northern California, so
Oh,
we're near Oregon, but the feel of this area is really different. Like if you go a little bit north from here, even not far at all, then the climate like totally changes, and then it becomes this really, it's really green, but it's kind of like these big green trees, and that's also amazing. But there's something I kind of like about this environment and the energy around here, where it's kind of very very dry, so it's like a little bit like Arizona, but hold on one second, getting
Eugene, I have to go now. Okay, Jay Baba.
Okay, my love. Thanks
Jay
for
Baba.
coming and
Jay
Jay
Baba.
Baba. Jay Baba. Pia had to split, so
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you was um uh, uh, have you been back to the hot springs? I think you were at a hot springs a couple months ago or so. You're frozen, so maybe your signal is dropped.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
okay, now you're unfrozen. Good.
All right. Good. Yeah. What were you saying?
I'm surprised you have a signal even. Like, wait,
I know. I
you
am
look
too.
so remote.
There wasn't a signal before, but I guess it's guess there is some coverage from from the weed side. But what did you say?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of hot springs, how wonderful they are, and I hope you get to visit some again, because I think you were at some a couple of months ago, right? Hot
Yeah,
springs.
I was at Harbin, which was really nice. And
Is it spendy?
is Harbin? It is. Yeah, Harbin's pretty expensive, but
Uh,
because I was doing some teaching, I got like free passes over there.
oh, cool. Huh.
So yeah, I could go back and use those or do more classes, which would be even better. Um, but if I do, I'm probably gonna be here for a while. I might do like a few days back in San Francisco, but I'll likely mostly be here. There's some natural hot springs that are in Oregon, which are actually really cool. Like those, it's like you walk a mile into the woods, and then there's this ledge overlooking a river, and there's a hot spring that's coming out on top, and then it dips down into different pools. So
Nice.
yeah, so it's like I think you have like seven pools about that, and then the water just gets a little cooler as it meanders down.
Mm.
But that's a really neat spot. Over here, it's it's really volcanic, so it can lend itself to hot springs, but there aren't any right here. What there are here though are these volcanic caves. So lava tubes that are beneath the surface where the lava kind of flowed through, and then you have these passageways, and sometimes it's large enough you could, if you were able to get a car down there, you could drive a car through parts of them, but it kind of
Yikes.
goes, yeah, the height goes in and out, and
Mm.
those are super interesting. We're on a lava bed now, so the soil is it has this like sand on top as that volcanic soil
Mm.
kind of decays, but it's yeah, it's all volcanic volcanic rock like this a lot of times it's this like red basalt, but it can be like reddish or blackish.
Have you been to Maui?
I've been super curious to go,
Yeah. Talk about
and it's funny that
volcanic.
I keep, yeah, I keep meeting people um who have spent a lot of time there. In fact, it's like m m a lot of people that I spent sort of the most time with in the last month all spent like years living um in Maui or the other islands around there.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I'll show again the view over here.
Ooh,
It's
beautiful. Wow.
yeah, yeah, you have just all these other mountains on the other side. And again, like the vegetation, like a quarter mile from here, the plants would be significantly different. Like now there's and I should know the name of some of this stuff. I don't, but this kind of yellow flowered thing, if we were a quarter mile away for whatever reason, like we don't see it anymore. And
Huh.
just yeah, like these shrubs change, and it'll be something else. It'll have like another type of little plant main plant over there. Um, but that's just very different. So so how have you been doing today, this week? What's been coming up for you?
Well, a little bit of sadness because of pets who have died, but it, uh, it's the process. Uh,
Hmm.
Getting old and dying,
Pet?
Yeah.
What what
Oh, you're broken up
kind
now.
of pet?
You're losing signal.
Uh, is it still bad?
Oh, uh, I think you're okay now. Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. So which was it, a dog or a cat, or
Yeah, both.
which type
Uh,
of cat?
an old cat and an old dog. Yeah. Um, and uh,
Hmm.
yeah, they're just so sweet. I mean, you've probably been on the move, so you haven't had pets, huh? Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, exactly. I hadn't. I kind of I was alongside a dog. A friend adopted a dog in Mount Shasta, so I facilitated the adoption process, and we went to I guess the pound and found the dog, and I was with it for um maybe a month or something like that. But other than that, I haven't had pets, although I really do like animals, I guess especially dogs.
mhm.
But yeah, growing up, my parents were kind of hesitant, and yeah, and then now it's been too much to yeah to to take a dog around. But it's funny because sometimes I run into dogs. Like there was a dog the other week as I was coming into Mount Shasta. I was gonna camp up on top of the mountain. I was gonna camp originally pretty high up, and then as I was driving through the end of the town, the dog came up to the bike, and and this was like really in the middle of the night. So the dog just like comes up, and it was it was pretty big. It was like white, it had some black spots, and then it wanted to hang out. So we hung out for
Uh-huh.
a little bit. We got to know each other, and then it like wanted to follow the bike and like go up and down. So like, okay, we're gonna slow down. We're gonna go like 10 miles an hour, and it's like running along. It's like running faster than the bike. It's running all over the place. I'm like, okay, we're not gonna go all the way to the top. We're gonna let the dog not like go miles up, so I can't like lower down. And yeah, the dog um it came along for the whole ride. It hung out for a little bit. Eventually, it left. It didn't stay the whole night. But it was fun to have it around for that time. Um, what was your pet like that you had?
Oh, she was an elderly lady, and when I got her, she was old to begin with, but still had a lot of spunk, yeah. And then for the last month, she was losing weight, and she really became a skeleton with just um, a fur coat hanging on her, But she didn't seem to be in any pain.
Mm.
She slept most of the time, um, and uh,
And this was a dog or a cat?
this was the dog. Yeah,
A
a
dog.
little.
Okay.
She was like a little Jack Russell type or Chihuahua type, um, and. Mm, So she used to be kind of this little tough little thing, who would pick fights with her um, with her dog mate, who was who also is an old lady. I got them both when they were old because the old lady who owned them, or who was the human, had to go into assisted living or a care place. So um, I I bought the dogs from and um,
Hmm.
yeah, and
What was the
her
dog's name?
Trixie.
Trixie. That's a cool name.
Yeah, yeah. And
Hmm.
the cat was a real beautiful, um, beautiful white cat with a bit of uh, uh, calico in her. Yeah, and she was a real sweetie. And she got hit by a car one night, and um,
Oh boy.
yeah. Um,
Hmm.
hmm.
That's yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah,
Um,
it, because even though the Trixie was elderly, somehow they're still even when they're elderly, they still seem like a child has died. I guess because they have a a lot of innocence to them, or they're uh, uh, well, they say that of dogs that they're the um like they're like a 6 or 7 year old child, human child, in terms
hmm,
of, I guess, in
hmm,
terms of mental activity. Yeah.
right,
But
right, emotional.
yeah,
Yeah.
Baba's very helpful. It's very helpful to remember Baba and to remember, you know, his point of view about death, and that it's really a good thing, and which I believe anyway, because when my mom died, she communicated with me, and 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 she was quite
Wow.
delighted to be dead. Um,
Wow. And
so
was it like kind of auditory communication, like you could hear her? Or what was that like?
no, it was more um, more mental, not in words particularly. It would just
Hmm.
I could feel her presence, and her picture was glowing on the
Wow.
picture of her I had. Yeah, um, and and she just communicated somehow um, uh, that um, uh, th- this was mom, even though my mom was usually like kind of a worry wart, worried about people and and um, and kind of a humble lady, or um, not educated or sophisticated, but very spiritual in terms of loving uh, loving animals and loving people, loving plants and gardens and so on. Yeah. And she just communicated somehow. I knew it in my head that this was mom saying, th- um, eh, like almost from the persona of a queen or
Hmm.
or an empress. I just felt uh, like my mom had expanded and into her real identity. Yeah. And she
Hmm.
just communicated that it was wonderful, that
Wow.
almost like she was almost like again, this is like a feeling that she was laughing at me, at us for our fears of dying, and but in a kind way, like laughing. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, so uh,
Yeah, that's amazing that you had that experience and sort of have that firsthand knowledge.
yeah, yeah, I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If
I my my grandma and grandpa when my grandpa passed away, he communicated to my grandma from the other side for the rest of the time that she was alive, and they were able to talk back and forth,
well,
basically. So yeah. So I also definitely believe there's yeah, like after death, I guess it's a different experience, but it does it definitely does go on. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, I got the feeling that I had to be really, well, not just the feeling, it was the experience that I had to be very like focused and quiet that for the communication to get come through because she disappeared when people were talking to me or that it was almost like
Okay.
you know, yeah, like like li-
Yeah. So you have to be attuned and kind of clear for that to come through. Hmm.
so
And then did
I
that like
I recommend to
resolve for
people.
her? Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just recommend to people if if they know that a loved one has died um, um, to try to be as quiet as possible and even sort of be in seclusion or something to and have a photograph of them to see if if a connection occurs or
Mm.
to try to put off any grieving that you may feel to just say I'll grieve later, but for now I'm gonna just stay open and of course
And try to connect.
Baba says that each death is like a shaking of your sanskaras, so it's beneficial,
Hmm.
loosens them, I guess. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, and I know, yes, back to I know like Baba had a lot of pets, like being at the Samadhi, you could see all those. So he was honoring that. So so yeah, talking about I'm feeling, that quietness and stillness as we come in.
I found a wonderful place, just um, uh, a ridge, and um, it's a ridge, kind of like like an elongated mountain almost, small one though.
Hmm.
But on top there beautiful meadow, um, big meadows, and I thought, oh, this is a good place to come and spend a night sometime. Um, when it's clear, and it had that feeling of quietude that it can be kind of missing in my area because there's so many planes and trains and automobiles, trucks.
Hmm. Yeah, it's good to get out. Although I thought it would be more quiet where you are, because I know you know, you're a bit north of the city.
Yeah, but it's on the flight paths, so
Oh,
there's
interesting.
frequent
So you're like
jets
you get from like what's taking off of Newark coming up, I guess.
or arriving. More the ones that are flying to Newark, I guess, or LaGuardia, or because they're going from uh, the north to the south, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Nice. So yeah, let's move into our meditation. I'm feeling meditative-y. Um, and I'm feeling the stillness out here, but also an aliveness because there's all kinds of small animals that are here, and I can hear, yeah, little birds chirping. Um, and there's animals on the ground too, like yeah, little chipmunks that you see running around all over the place, and rabbits and large rabbits and toads and all that kind of thing. So it's like the ground is kind of dry, but it's also a very alive place. And I'm feeling that stillness now. It's kind of a stillness but an aliveness in the space here. So we can gently come in to meditative space. And I invite Jen to close your eyes. Take my glasses off a little bit too. We can take a few slow, deep breaths as we enter into a calm state of mind. Breathe in and out. In, hold for a second, and then breathe out. In, pause, out. And then we're gonna do some holding on the inhales and exhales, just very, very mildly. We'll breathe the in and out breath we'll do for the count of 8, and then we'll hold for the count of 8 as well on the in breath and the out breath. So it'll kind of be a box breath over there. So we'll breathe in for the count of 8. And then we'll hold at the top for count of 8. Then we'll breathe out for count of 8. And hold for count of 8. And then we'll repeat this cycle a few times, and you can go at your own pace of counting, whether it's a little faster or slower. and we'll do one more cycle of this. We'll do alternate nostril breathing, nadi shuti, and this is also a very calming exercise, and it balances the left and right hemispheres of the brain because the breath is going through through each nostril, one at a time. And to do this, once you get the hang of it, it's very easy. But just explain it for the first time. So one way to block the nostrils is to use like uh, the thumb, do some blocking, and then the pinky to do some blocking. So if you have your right hand, and we'll be starting kind of blowing out of the left nostril, so you can use your thumb to cover the right nostril like that. So you start with an exhale on the left nostril, and then you inhale on the left nostril. And then after that, you kind of switch. So you rotate, and then the pinky comes around and covers the left, the thumb comes off. And then you can exhale on the right nostril, inhale on the right nostril, and then switch back so the thumb is covering it. And you're kind of exhaling on the left nostril. And it is very simple, but I know when I start out, I didn't get it exactly right. And it's not important to get it like exactly right in the beginning. If you blow out the left and then the right, or you were blowing out one then blowing out the other. I was doing a lot in the beginning too. Um, but Jen, does that explanation make sense of like using the thumb and the pinky to cover different sides of the nose?
Sure. Oh yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So we'll do this, and this is I like this to again be calming and help come into a state of coherence and can help quiet down the thoughts. So we'll do this for a few minutes. Um, it's a good exercise to do. It's good on its own. It's often combined in sequences. So I've seen it incorporated in longer as an element in a longer sequence of breath work. So we'll do this here. So again, we have our and you can do this any way you want in the beginning. And this is one way to do it. We'll start by covering the right, and we'll start with an exhale out the left. And if you start inhaling from the right, or you inhale instead of an exhale, that's fine. The main idea is we're alternating between using one nostril to breathe in and out, and then using the other, and we're just going back and forth. But I'm going to start out with a covering using my thumb to cover the right, starting with an exhale on the left nostril, and then an inhale in the left nostril, and then switching. So I'm kind of pivoting my hand, coming the other side of the face. The end of the pinky is covering the left, and then I'm exhaling through the right nostril, inhaling through the right nostril, and then coming back, kind of reversing my hand, so the hand tilting a little bit. The hand pivoting, so the thumb is covering the right, and then now the left is open. Um, and we'll continue at your own pace. Um, Generally, when I do this, the breathing is a little bit slower than a normal breath. So it might be like in, out, in, out. but go at your own pace. The the exact timing doesn't matter. It's more that we're alternating. So we will begin. And for the other hand, well, the left hand. And by the way, if your right hand gets tired, you can switch and do it with your left hand. It will change the feel of the exercise a little bit when you shift. That's also okay. And what I tend to do with this other hand is just kind of keep it in a palm up position, and I place it on my lap. Um, if that feels comfortable, you can do that, but you can also place it anywhere you want. Um, sometimes you see it with a chin mudra or a chin maya mudra where the thumb and the ring finger are touching, and then that sits on the knee. That's another way to do it. Um, I'll just put it on my lap, and you can put it where it's comfortable for you. We'll continue our breathing. I corrected my posture a little bit. I was slumping, and I've come to a more vertical posture. Um, but yeah, either way, we'll keep going on this. Okay. So yeah, usually with this one, it usually does go for a few minutes. I do feel a benefit even after doing it for a shorter time, such as a couple of minutes. But yeah, but um usually goes for a few minutes. We'll do um one other exercise to kind of complete this exercise sequence. This exercise is from a technique called Psych K, um, which is less well known. But I did come across it a few years ago when I was at the Samadhi, and I was searching for other techniques to try to kind of do a reset, and that's when I first came across it on YouTube. And then I came across it again more recently in Mount Shasta. I've been following a teacher here, and the name she goes by is Pure Heavenly Light, um, Pure Living Light, Heavenly Bliss, and she recently gave over this technique as well, and um, she will, I'm sure we'll be having some 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 more input from her in the future. Um, she's pretty incredible. Um, this this technique is a reset, um, a reset technique, kind of clearing if there are kind of patterns going on or there's a certain mode that we're running on at the moment. This technique is kind of like a stop and a pause, and it clears that and it locks in some of that clearing. And when you sort of catch yourself or catch the mind going, it's a good technique to pull out, and it does have a very nice cumulative effect if it's used over time. The other thing I like about this is that it is very rapid to deploy, and the exact position you're in is also flexible. So it could be done seated on the ground. It could be done seated on a chair. Probably the easiest way to do it. It could also be done standing up. If you're, leaning against the wall, you could do it too. So it's versatile, and it doesn't take long at all to do it. So, and also I find in terms of kind of stilling the mind, you can get the kind of the same type of stilling power or yeah, mind stilling power with this as you could with a longer sequence. It could even be comparable to a 20 or 30-minute sequence of, various types of asanas and breath work. Um, we can achieve a similar type of stopping with this. And there's some similarities to the Nadi Shuddhi in that the Nadi Shuddhi we're kind of alternating. There were alternating sides of the nose and nostrils interfacing with the different sides of the brain, bringing them to coherence. So this Psych K technique is using a similar strategy to incorporate the different sides of the body and different sides of the brain and bring it coherence. So how it's done is that we cross the ankle, and it could be um, and then later, and we're also going to cross the wrist, it can be right over left or left over right, but I do believe that you keep the two consistent. So if you're crossing your feet, right over left, which I'll do, then the hands would also be right over left. So the foot cross is very simple, and you might be able to see my feet, but they're just crossing at the ankles. And whether you're sitting on the ground like I am, or a chair, or leaning against the wall, or even standing up, then then it would be similar. It's just across the ankles, and then at the same time we're crossing the wrist. Now to cross the wrist, it's not just like you're straight crossing the wrist. The fingers interlock, and this is key to the technique. So I'm going to be crossing the right hand over the left. The left hand is kind of going to it's kind of going to turn inside out. So the palm will be facing to the left as I rotate the hands clockwise to the right. Rotating the left hand clockwise to the right. The left palm is winds up facing outward, kind of vertically, and then the right um, the right the right hand will be tilted or rotated counterclockwise with the right palm facing vertically to the right, and then that allows a interlocking of fingers. So the right wrist is over the left, and all the fingers are interlocking with each other. So in this case, the left left hand pinky is kind of up on top, and then we have the right hand pinky, and then it's rotating finger by finger as we go down. And then we can kind of like rest that position on the lap, or yeah, if you're standing up, then it would just kind of rest down, and that's the hand position. So Jen, does the instructions for the hand position make sense?
Yeah, probably if you just, you know, say extend your hands and then go like this, people will get it.
You'll get it. Okay,
I think,
that's
but I don't know. Yeah,
that's great.
because
That's very
one
good
picture
feedback.
is worth a thousand
One
words, right?
picture,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, once you kind of see it. Thank you, Jen. All right, so we're gonna do that, and then for this part of it, we close our eyes, and then we wait until we feel a shift in our energy, in our thoughts, and that might happen in a few seconds, or it may take a couple minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, um, and that'll vary from person to person. Um, so we will wait a little bit for an internal shift to occur, and then we'll move on. There's just one other part which has a slightly different position that we do afterwards. So let's remain with our eyes closed, and we'll notice internally what's occurring. And when you do this on your own, once a shift occurs for you, that's when you switch. So, but now we'll just take a couple minutes over here and notice if we feel a shift at some point. I'm kind of coming back to the breath and tuning in. Sometimes it's a little bit easier for the mind to start going, particularly after a while. And again, you don't want to go too long. The mind can kick back in again. So it's kind of you want to go until that shift, and it may even just be a few seconds. It doesn't have to be a long time. There could be a shift after 30 seconds or something like that. And that's the way it often is for me with this. So the next step, I mean, the only other step is to kind of lock in our shift. So we uncross the legs, and then we open our eyes. So first was eyes closed. This is eyes open, and then the fingers come together like so. So all the fingers, tips of the fingers touch, and we can just hold this above our chest, upright, and eyes are open, and we hold this for a little bit, could be a few seconds, 30 seconds, to lock in our shift. So we'll just hold this over here, eyes open, kind of bring what we shifted and achieved with our eyes closed into our more moving, active, eyes open state. Um, so carrying what we did forward into whatever we're going to do next. So this exercise, we're not necessarily planning to, and if you do this in your day, you're not necessarily planning to stay in meditation in an eyes closed state. You're doing this to kind of prepare you for the movement, for the action you're going to do, and bringing that shift that you achieved into whatever you're going to do next. So designed to be a quick exercise that you can incorporate into the rest of your day and actions that you're taking to bring a centeredness to those actions that are going to happen next. And kind of feeling nice centeredness sink in as we lock in over here. Now we'll just stay here for a few more seconds. And again, when you do this, it all depends on how you feel the shift and you feel the lock in occurring. And this entire thing can be a 30-second thing, be a 2-3 minute thing, 5 minute thing, but it just depends on you, your timing, and when you feel that shift occur. Okay, so pause for a second and take any comments. Jen, did you feel a shift when you completed that?
Yeah, I mean, uh, it seemed to happen immediately that after I'd done this, um, you know, right wrist over left wrist and then clasp the hands, um, and then rested them on my lap. I felt right away, well, uh, just a feeling of very calm and stillness. Yeah, immediately.
Okay, very cool. And that's usually how I feel it too.
Oh,
A lot of time, it's like, right, you just do that changes the circuitry, the way the energy is flowing. That's the shift. Um, Proceed with the lock in, and that's the beauty of the technique. And again, it's like as if we had done a 20-30 minute routine. Because after you do 20-30 minutes of various breathing exercises, that nadi shidi, um, then you get to a point of stillness. And with this exercise, we'd also get to a point of stillness. It's just a lot quicker, and then that that allows us to kind of pull that out at different points in the day, kind of bring us back to center. So glad
Yeah, the Naughty
glad
City
you all.
was nice to do too, I must say.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good one. That's super calming. And
mm,
again, with that one also, sometimes you calm down pretty fast. And often in the routines, that could be a 7 minute thing, but often after a minute or two, like a much shorter period, you can also feel things settle down.
mm.
So now we will.
Particularly, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna move us into meditation. So you should go ahead.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, no, I was just going to make the comment of um, that that I was already warmed up from from our
Ah,
re from
from that.
our reading group. Yeah, somehow when
Okay,
um uh, uh I seem to get to a feeling of calm by the end of the reading group, and this is just like the icing on the cake. Mm.
awesome, cool. Yeah, focusing on Baba's teachings, also also spectacular and very aligning. Bringing I really like the group too. I usually just come in at the end. It's very nice to hear the interaction and everybody coming together on that. Um, so now we'll move into some meditation. So yeah, we've kind of primed ourselves. And I mean, yeah, sometimes I just go right into meditation, do breath work later, and then meditate again, or sometimes starting with the breath work. And if the mind is busy, then it can be nice to kind of do a reset with some of those exercises we just did and kind of prime ourselves for the meditation to make it more productive. So now we'll go into a nice simple meditation, and you can use whatever posture you want. I'm using a basic seated posture, kind of right foot over left, regular cross-legged posture. Um, I'm going to use also like a basic hand position, just left fingers over right, and it's a little bit cold. I'm gonna tuck that in the shirt over here, so that'll also fit with that that dynamic, kind of keeping the fingers warm. And I'm just gonna start out by keeping a focus on the tip of the nostrils, which is a common technique in the Vipassana tradition, also used by Ramana Maharshi and other meditators as a point of focus that's always there. The breath is always there, and it's something you can do with your eyes closed. So I'm gonna hold that point of focus at the breath, the end of the nostrils, as we begin the meditation, and I may shift the focus after that. And if the attention wanders, you can bring it back to that point of focus. And I'm also paying attention to the slight motion of air around. There happens to be a not even really a breeze, but a slight movement of air, and I'm bringing my perception to that. So if there's any sensation of air around the body, any exposed areas like the face, hands, any sensation of air around the body. And we'll move to just other body sensations, any other body sensation. So for me, I'm kind of picking up in the hands and the feet. There's some kind of cold, some feet falling asleep. I'm picking up on those sensations, whatever they may be for you. Staying with our sensations in the body. Okay, excellent. We'll do a few body scans. So if you imagine a bar, so let's say like a long neon light you might find on a ceiling of cafeteria or some industrial buildings, you have that like 3 foot bar of light, and you can imagine that bar passing and going kind of at the speed of a breath. So in, let's say, an out breath, you move from the top of your head to your feet, and then on the in breath, you move the light from the bottom of the feet to the top of your head. And you can imagine your awareness kind of sort of as that light penetrating in a layer going through your body, like at that 1 inch point. So your awareness is sort of moving through at a 1 inch layer from top to bottom and top to bottom as you go with the breath. So, out breath, our attention is going to pass all the way from the head to the bottom of the feet, and then we're going to go up, and we'll do this a few times. Okay, excellent. And now in the final part, we're gonna examine some of what Eugen was talking about earlier with the sense of loss with the pets. So, um, so if you like, I'll invite you if you're interested to let's go into this again for a few seconds. And yeah, how like if you're interested to work on processing or releasing that, if you are, then I invite you to just kind of bring up those emotions, and you can even talk for like 30 seconds about how that feels, how the loss feels. You might be on mute. So if you want to kind of go into that to process that, or something else that you want to kind of work through that's been coming up for you, we can take a couple of minutes on that.
Thank you, Jonah. Um, uh, I seem to have recovered my equanimity from yesterday. So, um,
Okay.
the sadness of when these beautiful creatures are lying there, and when one can I can't help but feel sad um, when it's fresh,
Hmm.
But um, like sleep seems to bring recovery, a lot of recovery, and acceptance that that everything is transitory. All our lives are transitory, and acceptance is um, kind of natural after with time. Yeah. And in my case, it was just overnight, but
Okay.
yeah. Um, uh,
All right, cool. And in this moment, is there any other emotion coming up?
Not really, because I just feel so good. Yeah,
Okay.
just
All right. Good.
clear and
So,
and rested and lovely. Yeah.
okay. All right. Amazing. So, yeah, for next week, between now and next week, if something else is coming up for you, note it and we'll tackle it in the next
Okay.
time.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. And
Okay.
oh, I wanted to ask you how the scanning was going as
The
your
body.
the the lateral eye movement.
Oh, so with scanning, it was attention, going up and down. So it's not scanning with the eyes, it's scanning with the sensation in the body. Um,
No, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. Um, um, a few weeks ago, last month or whatever, we were talking about on our motorcycles to um,
oh,
to
right.
scan not just the highway but the sides from side to side as well. And I wondered how you know
Yeah,
I
I've
started
been
that I started doing it, like more, and it's not an easy thing to do, but it's a great thing. Yeah.
so I've been conscious of that, and the way I remembered it was that you're looking at the mirrors, like side to side for the mirrors. Is that what you meant? Looking at them like a mirror, scanning mirrors?
Um, they would be included in
Oh,
looking at um, you know uh, say you have your arms stretched out to where you can see your hands peripherally. So that would be the width of your scan from side to side, and
interesting.
the roads in the middle. Maybe you didn't get a chance to uh, view that video of Dr. Huberman's.
No, please send it again. I
Oh,
didn't.
okay. Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
see it. So you're scanning from the left side of the road to the right side of the road and including the mirrors as you're passing through.
Yeah. Yeah. And back and forth, if those are the right words, from left to right
Okay.
and right to left. Um, and
And yeah,
uh,
do you do it continuously? Like how
you
often
do
are you doing it?
you do it continuously. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That also was part of the skills and safety course. At least
Okay.
here in New York. The
So what
um
I've been doing is I've been mainly looking straight and then maybe every 30 seconds I've been checking both mirrors. Um,
well,
and then sometimes
that's a step in the right direction. But
step in the right because sometimes I don't see a car coming up. So sometimes I miss that and I'm like, okay, then I wasn't looking quickly enough.
yeah. Um Uh, yeah, it's a continuous thing, sweeping, almost like radar. You know how the radar thing is going
Hmm.
constantly. So our eyes are sweeping back and forth, and I mean it's a great technique to follow even in cars. Even if you're in a car, driving in a car or walking. Um, yeah, Huber mentions that this lateral eye movement calms the amygdala of the brain part that is concerned with fight or flight, and calms it. Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
but for us bike riders, it, it it helps a lot for our level of safety. Just
For sure.
seeing,
Right.
you
Because
know,
often when you're looking straight ahead, then you start looking straight ahead. I'm
yeah.
gonna see if I can find that video. I'm not searching
Okay.
for Jen. Yeah. What was, you have a very interesting email. I remember. What was it again? It was bunnies, I think is in it. Let me,
Vile swine.
really? Okay.
Yeah, that's an email that I started years ago. Um, And oh, here, I can send it to you again.
I see it. I
Oh,
see
you see
Val's
it?
one,
Oh, good.
but I
Uh-huh.
don't see the email. I don't see I see other emails from you, but I don't see that particular email. Um,
Let's see here. I'm sending one to you right now. Oh no, let's see. That's Jonah J O. Okay, I've sent it. I've resent it to you. Yeah.
okay. Well, this is gonna be
Uh,
very important video to watch.
yeah, uh I mean I guess I've encapsulated what he says, but and,
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I
and
see it come through here.
yeah, and for our safety on motorcycles, it's or bicycles or walking, safety in general. You're looking around you. You're seeing where you
Right.
are and what's around you, So uh
Yeah, I really like being aware on the bike and aware of other people in the cars and just what's going on, what people are doing. Um, it adds to the experience and makes it more safe.
yeah,
So we
and
will.
yeah, uh-huh, yeah.
So yeah, no, I really appreciate you bringing up that safety video. That's super super key. Can't wait to watch it. So we'll close here for the
Okay.
day, and hope you have a great week, and we will pick it up next week.
Jay Baba, Jonah.
Jay Baba.